You've probably already aware of the issues in the Caribbean, obviously really focused on coastal impacts, air temperature, sea surface temperature, sea level rise, coastal erosion, seasonality shifts, and by that what we're talking about is where the wet season and the dry season are no longer so clearly defined, and what we're experiencing is intense periods of rainfall in short periods of time and intense periods of drought, which are causing major problems for agriculture and tourism and other sectors right across the region. Jamaica has been particularly affected by these two extreme events. And when I use the term extreme events, I'd like to just emphasize at this point that whilst hurricanes are of course of vital importance in terms of analysis in the Caribbean, the science behind the links between climate change and hurricanes is not robust enough to be able to say that hurricanes will be increased in intensity or frequency. So be very careful when sucked into this morass of climate change impacts. It's very easy, especially in the region, for people to hook onto hurricanes as a climate change impact. Having said that, it's also important to realize that with sea level rise and coastal erosion, that the intensity of the impact of hurricanes as they come across the coast will be increased. So let's just be very careful and make that distinction right here, right now. And that's why in this study, or the studies that we're conducting, we're not looking at the costs of losses and damages of hurricanes per se, more the costs and losses and damages of sea level rise and coastal erosion and other impacts of climate change. And of course there's the coral reef impacts, bleaching, acidification, and increase of disease on the coral reef, and a loss of destination aesthetics. Now, aesthetics may seem a bit fluffy to everybody, but in fact, when we consider the vital sector of tourism in the region, of course, aesthetics are very, very important indeed. And when we look at coastal erosion and the impacts of climate change on coastal areas, destination aesthetics will have a huge impact on visitation of tourists from the region and from international source countries such as the US, UK, Europe, Canada, etc.